If you expect that Psycho, the book, would be a sloggy and intricate look at the psychology of a psychopath because the author had all those pages and time that the movie didn't have to really get into the nuts and bolts of it and dazzle us with his research on the human mind, you'd be happily wrong. If you're looking for the novel version of a crime journalism show, you won't get that either, and hopefully that's also not bad news. The idea for this book came from real-life serial killer Ed Gein, about whom I don't want to say too much because it could spoil the book. But this book is not a Truman Capote-esque, in cold blood-like look at Ed Gein, In Cold Blood, of course, being Capote's novelized version of a true crime, about which I won't say much either, except to say it's a most excellent read you might demolish in one sitting. For Psycho, Block simply borrowed the notion of someone living like Gein and folded that one kernel into a much broader, clearly fictional novel. And because it's a novel in the truest sense of the word, it tells a good old-fashioned story about what people do versus why they do it, and relies far more on the environment, so the setting, other characters, events, plot points, and yes, action to tell the story. Block doesn't treat the work as a vehicle to scientifically dissect the minds of his characters while we watch, which could be dull. We only learn why anyone in the book behaves the way they do as a backdrop to the action in the story. And the setting is one of Block's many great choices for the book. He keeps it up close and makes it immediately personal by focusing on one character, Mary Crane, who was on a tense journey attempting to outrun a grave mistake she's made. She's running away from and toward punishment, and we're rooting for her the entire time. We want whatever happens to go her way. Block does a great job getting us to buy into Mary's predicament and to hope she gets out of it unscathed. So we're solidly rooting for Mary when she arrives at a tiny roadside motel, the Bates Motel, owned by Norma Bates and run by her son, Norman Bates. I have to keep this review short because to say much more will be to spoil the read. What I'll say is that the Psycho of the title of the book may not be who you think it is. Block beautifully hides the ball as he expands the cast of characters to include someone's sister, a lover, law enforcement, a film noirish detective, a creepy house with the requisite attic and cellar and staircase, mud, rain, the swamp, yes, the swamp and not a swamp, and well, maybe a shower. With these tools and pieces, Block tells a mean story at a great pace. He uses introspection with great skill, staying clear of psychoanalysis during the sheer storytelling passages while still getting into the minds of Norma and Norman Bates and Mary and others. Block craftily transfers his own intelligence and knowledge of what makes people tick to his characters, but not in an artificial way that lets you see the inner workings of the watch. He builds his characters in such a way that they plausibly know what they know and interpret what they see through various psychological lenses. It's an intelligent novel that's still so down to earth that what it really is authentic. People are the way Block portrays them. People do live the way Block displays their lives. And people perpetrate what Block's characters perpetrate. Thus, he never sounds pretentious or separate from reality as he tells the story of, well, an unidentified psychopath who walks among everyone else, like what can happen in real life, which is what makes the story scary. Psycho is realistic even if it isn't real, and we're never far from understanding how any of it could happen, especially as it's filled with edge-of-your-seat action, suspense, mystery, and vivid imagery. It makes for a great read. It's no wonder Alfred Hitchcock turned it into a movie, maybe his dream that came from the read. And speaking of the film, I mentioned in the intro that I tried to keep the movie images out of my mind as I read, and I mostly did. My mental book Norman did not look like movie Norman. Book Norma, the mother, was different from movie Norma, well, mostly. Same with Mary and the other characters I'm purposely not naming. But I do think I sort of saw everything in black and white, like the movie. And you know what? It added to the creepiness. I enjoyed the sort of grayish dream lens through which I saw this book. I highly recommend this book even if you've seen Hitchcock's movie many times. I'm a classic film fanatic, and I've seen Psycho quite literally too many times to count, and this was still a great read, and a fast read, a page-turner in fact. And if you haven't seen the movie, even better. If this is your genre, or if you're wanting to try this genre on a read that goes down easy, Psycho may just be your book. Have you read Psycho? Let everyone know in the comment section, and please share what you thought of the book or tell us what else you're reading. A link to where you can find this book and links to other reading suggestions are in the description. And please like, share, and subscribe. That's all from LA and Perchance to Read today. I hope you'll come back to the channel for what's next, to let us know what you're reading, and to see what dreams may come when you enjoy the read. Thanks for watching!